Hi, I just thought since you're going to be advising students in the coming couple semesters, I thought I'd run through a few of the things that you have to do each time you advise a student. There's really three main things. You need to update their degree audit, you need to update their degree plan, and the first time you meet with them, you actually have to make sure they have developed their own degree plan. And then the last thing you'll do is you will make suggestions as to which classes they will enroll in the next semester. We call that having a record of the advising session with them. You'll actually fill out a list of classes that they need to take, and we call that form the record of advising. In this short video, I'm going to talk only about the degree audit. I want to tell you what it is, what it's for, where to find them, how to fill them out, that type of thing. All right, we keep degree audits for all of our students, regardless if they're freshmen, sophomores, or seniors. Right? And we can find those on the biology shared drive. If you don't already have a shortcut on your computer, I recommend making one. You can find that drive on my computer. It's just the biological sciences. We store all of our degree audits, and actually most things related to advising are here in the shared drive under completed degree audits. Here are some degree audits that are not currently filled out for students. These are the general degree audit forms that when you get a new student or when you get a new advisee, you'll want to fill out one of these forms depending on what their concentration is. So, for example, if your advisee is a pre-PT or pre-OT, they will fill out this degree audit form. If they are general biology, they'd fill this one out. If they're ag, they'd fill this degree audit form, and so forth. All right, the degree audit forms are very similar in some regards, but then they have coursework that only the students with those concentrations will need to worry about. Let's look at the pre-PT OT degree audit. This will give you an idea of what the degree audits actually are for. These forms tell us and tell the students what classes they have to have taken in order to graduate. Right? As Excel opens it up, you'll see what I'm talking about. It lists the Gen Ed courses they need to take, and it also lists the specific biology major courses they need to take, as well as gives them areas for electives and other things. So this first section at the top is just student information. The audit's completed by whoever does the audit. It would be you here in this case, and the date that you do the audit in. And then the Power Campus ID is the student's student ID number, essentially. Right? You can look at the audit form. There's actually a number of different sections. This first section you come to is the Gen Ed requirements, general education requirements. These are courses that aren't biology courses that students are required to take. So, for example, students are required to take an English 1001 class. They're required to take an English 1002 class, and so forth. When the student has taken these classes, we fill in the information here. Notice that this first column is the term that they take it. So usually this is fall, spring, summer, that type of thing. Here's where you put the year the student took it. Here's where the institute that they took the class from, and mainly it's going to be LSUA. And then here's the grade they made in that class. Right, so A, the degree audits help us track which classes the students have already taken. And then B, when it comes time to graduate, we can go into this form and just quickly look, have they taken all the classes they're required to take? And if so, then excellent. All right? So you'll fill out a degree audit form, or rather you'll update your student's degree audit form every time you meet with them in an advising session. All right, let's talk about some of the little weird details about the degree audit forms. It's really easy when they have a class listed. So we know they have to take these classes. We know they have to take Chem 1201. Chem 1202, Physics 1201. However, in some Gen Ed areas, there's no class specified. That's because they get to choose which social sciences classes they want to take. They can look all the different classes up in the degree catalog. There's actually a page that lists all the classes that correspond to Gen Education social sciences. They just choose two of those, or choose 6 hours of those classes, and they can take them whenever they want to. Same thing with humanities. We see students have to take 9 hours of humanities. They get to choose basically whatever classes they want to take, with the exception of 3 of these humanities hours have to be in the Communications Studies department. That's what CMST stands for. So these are classes like speech, interpersonal communications, those types of things. So they have to choose 3 hours of humanities that are in communication studies, but then the other remaining 6 can literally be chosen from any class in the humanities gen ed section. Okay? They also have to have 3 hours of fine arts. Good. That basically covers gen ed stuff. Here's a list of all the biology classes that they have to have. So they have to have 1201, they have to have 1202, they have to have 2051, which is microbiology, as you know, because you teach that class. They also have to have genetics and so forth. But then they have to have either 3150 or 3152 or 3500 or 4154. They don't have to have all 4 of those classes, but they have to have one of them, and then you'll fill that out there. Okay? Then they do have to have 3160, they have to have Biology 4000, they have to have both A and P courses, and then again, here's another OR situation. They only need to take 3090 or 4104. Okay, they don't have to take both. Then they do have to take this, they have to take that, and then they get to choose. They still need, looks like 6, 8, or 9 more credits of just electives from the list. And right on down here is where the elective courses can be. So these 8 to 9 hours can be any of these classes. The student gets to choose, do they want to take 3090, do they want to take 3150, do they want to take these kinesiology classes instead maybe, or do they want to take this nursing class or this psych class? So these 8 to 9 hours are chosen from the area of concentration electives that are listed down here. All right, there's one caveat to that, however. Notice 3090, some of these classes are actually up on this list as options. If they choose to take 3990 and use it here as a requirement of the area of concentration, they can't also use it as an elective. So if they're going to use 3090 as an elective here, that means they must have taken 4104 up here. Okay, same thing for these classes. 3150 and 3152 are both options down here as electives. But if they take them as electives, they can't have used them up here to account for their degree requirements, which means those students would have had to either take 3500 or 4154. Okay, so you can't double dip. Students can't double dip. If they're going to take a class and it's going to be used up here, it can't be used for an elective. Okay, up here it just shows some additional requirements, additional classes that students have to have. Chem 1301 and 1302, those are the labs to the chemistry 1 and 2 classes. This is organic and organic lab. Here's a physics lab, an English professional writing class. That's what English 3002 is. All of our majors have to have that class. This is a stats class. Actually, sometimes you'll see this on some degree audits. It won't be Math 2011, it'll be Stat 2011, indicating that it's the stats class. Those are actually the same classes taught by the same instructors, so they're just used interchangeably, basically. Another class that's used interchangeably is Biology 1000 and LSUA 1001. Let me just write that out here. LSUA 1001 it's actually a 3-hour class, but it basically teaches them the same stuff that we learn in Biology 1000. So students can either have Biology 1000 or they can have Biology 1001. It doesn't matter. They can have one counts for the other. Right, and then lastly, students need 11 hours in whatever class they want. So this is literally free electives. Any electives credits a student wants to have, they can go here. That can be more art classes. That can be more biology classes if they want. It can be nursing classes. It can be humanities classes, math classes, natural science classes, and so forth. All right? Let me clarify that these are biology major electives that they have to choose from this list, whereas these electives can literally be anything. All right? And they have to have 11 hours of that. Okay? All right, we're almost done here. Notice down here there's 2 other little bits of information that are very, very important. By the time a student graduates, they also must have 15 hours at the 4,000 level or above, 4,000 level, and they must have 45 hours at the 3,000 level or above. Okay, those are the only other major requirements for what classes students take, and you'll do this at the end by counting up. So if they took kinesiology 3513, that's 3 hours. If they took biology 3090, that's 3 more hours, and so forth. And you just tally it all up. Okay, let me show you one that's being filled out right now. So whenever you advise students, you want to make sure they have a folder on our completed degree audits section. Again, let me just close this out and show you how to navigate back in. Go to my computer, or unless you have a shortcut like I do, go to my computer, Biological Sciences Drive, completed degree audits, and then the name of your student. So let's do Joseph Abadi. He's one of my advisees, and I just finished filling out his. I just finished advising him last week, so his stuff is actually current. So his last name is Abadi, so it would be in the A through M folder. If it's like Molly Parks, her files would be in the N through Z folder because her last name is Parks, which starts with a P. So anyway, let's do Joseph Abadi. Here he is. Here's his folder. I double click, and we've got degree audit forms, curricular change forms. There may be some other files that are stored in here, but I like to save them per semester. So this is the year 2018. And it's the fall semester, and here's the 3 documents that you have to have for all of your students at each of their advising, and it's these 3 documents here. Each student has to have a degree audit, a degree plan, and a record of advising. So here they are for this student. But I've already met with this student, that's why he already has these. If I had not met with him, then we would be doing these 3 documents together. Let's look at the degree audit form. So this is Joseph's degree audit. If it comes up, here we go. Scroll to the top, here's his name, here's me because I did his degree audit. Oops, you can see I didn't update the date. I actually did meet with him just last week, but this was my springtime meeting on the 21st of March. Here's his Power Campus ID. Here's the classes he's already taken and the grades he made for those. Notice he's done with his English classes. He's already taken all 6 hours of English Comp. He's already had 3 hours of his social sciences, and he's ultimately going to take this as his remaining 3. He hasn't finished his math yet. He hasn't finished his natural sciences, but he's working on it. So these color coding systems is just my own internal thing. If it's blue, that means he's currently enrolled in the class, and it's just waiting for me to type his grade in once he's finished with that class. If it's in orange, if I have a cell highlighted in orange, it's because that's the class that we've recommended he take next semester. So you can see that I have CMST 2060. That's, I believe, speech. He's planning on taking it spring of 2019 because I just told him that that's what he needs to take next semester. So I highlighted this in orange, put a little question mark in there so I can remind myself next time I open this in the spring to look at how he's doing in this class, and then I can fill out his grades that he made this semester and in this semester's courses. In the blue, there's all the courses that he's currently taking, but he just hasn't finished yet, so we don't have grades. All right. So how did I know what grade he made in, let's say, Biology 1201? You actually have to go into his transcript and look at it. So that will be in self-service. So let me bring up my browser here. Just navigate to LSUA self-service. Log in. And self-service will assign you advisees. So you go under your advising tab, that's where all of your advisees information are in, and click on Manage Advisees, and then you will type their last name in and their first name and all of that stuff. I usually just do the last name. Unless it's a really common last name, then I'll do both. And then make sure you have My Advisees selected, and then search. Here he is. Clicking on his name drops down a menu where it gives us access to a lot of information about him. This is his schedule for the current semester. This is his unofficial transcript. This is the document that we most frequently look at. We can also see students' grade reports. We can look at their attendance if other faculty are tracking that and so forth. Anyway, I want their unofficial transcript because that's what tells me what grades they've made on things. So here's his transcript. All the classes he's ever enrolled in will be listed here. 2016, he took an English 1001 class and he made an A. Also, to the fall of 2016, he took Math 1021 and got an A. So that's where I'm getting my information when I fill out the degree audit form. Here's fall of 2016, and he made an A. So that's that. Math 1021, fall of 16, he made an A. Here it is, and so forth. And then at the end of every term, their grades will show up, and you just go in and finish filling this out. All right? It's very important that we fill it out every semester, every time you meet with a student. That's the first thing you do. You come in, how's your semester going? Let's look at your degree audit. So you bring their degree audit form up. You look at their transcript and see what type of grades they ended up with the prior semester. Ask them how their classes are going this semester. Usually, your advising meeting happens after midterm, so they have a pretty good idea on how their classes are going that semester. So anyway, that's the degree audit. That's the first document that you need to really be updating when you meet with students. Hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop by my office or send me an email. And of course, I see you every day at lunch anyway, so you can ask anything you want. I hope this is helpful. Bye-bye.